Hey, what is up, guys? We will recently announce some new nerfs for some aggro cards and for some rather surprising cards. But what I'm going to do in this video is tell you guys the nerfs that happened, and I'll give you guys my opinions on it. And for the most part, I think the nerfs are a good thing, but let's get into it. Starting off with the nerfs, we have Rockbiter Weapon, raising it to 2 mana instead of 1 mana, and I really like this nerf because I cannot tell you guys how many times I played against an aggro shaman with Doomhammer, and he used all his spells, he's on overload, and he has like 2 mana left with the Doomhammer still up, and the 2 Rockbiters would be exact lethal, and sometimes they just have it, and it's just really annoying. And this card by itself isn't OP in my opinion, but with Doomhammer, this card could be insanely annoying and OP, and I'm glad it caught a nerf. Next up, which is one I'm actually a little bit sad about just because I like the mechanic of this card, and that is Tuskar Totemic, and now it can't summon any totem in the game. Now it only summons one of the 4 basic totems, and I don't like this because when you originally played this card, you had a 3 in 7 chance to get a good totem. You got Manatide, Totem Golem, and Flametongue Totem, and I think those odds are pretty fair. And now it's just like using your hero power with a 3-2, which still might be okay, but still not nearly as good as before. Now, the next nerf we have up is one I'm happy about, and that is for Hunters, and Call of the Wild is getting nerfed by 1 mana, it's getting raised to 9 mana, and again, it's another small nerf for 1 mana, but in-game, this can make a huge difference, and also, I just think it makes more sense logically, because Animal Companion is 3 mana, and if you get all the companions, I think it just makes sense to cost 9 mana, plus I'm also getting tired of losing 100 games on turn 8, at least I'll lose them on turn 9 now. And this next nerf, I'm actually not too sure how I feel, but Execute is being raised by 1 mana, and at times I do think this card can be OP, because it can be in some situations like 1 mana, like 5 damage to a minion, or like 8 damage to a minion sometimes if you're very lucky. But if you're not able to deal that damage to a minion, it could be a fairly bad card in some situations. I still think it's going to be a used card for Warrior, so there's nothing to worry about. And next up is another Warrior nerf, and it doesn't seem like a big deal at first, which for the most part it really isn't. But the card Charge is getting reduced by 2 mana, and it doesn't give the 2 damage buff to a minion, and it can't attack heroes. So the Raging Worgen combo deck, which was very annoying and wasn't very fun to play against at all because it wasn't interactive even a little bit, that is finally getting nerfed, and I am happy with this one because I think decks like this just shouldn't be in Hearthstone just because you can't really react to it or do anything, and if you're a class like Priest or something, you just get screwed because you can't react to it, and that's a reactive class. Sometimes same with Warrior if it's a mirror match, but good job Blizzard for nerfing this card that is not interactive at all. And this next nerf kind of reminds me of the Leper Gnome nerf that happened a little while back, except I don't think it's going to be as drastic because Leper Gnome has not been played since the nerf, and that is Abusive Sergeant is just getting its attack lowered by 1. Hopefully we don't see this card anymore. We just got to stop the aggro 1 by 1. There's not really too much to say about this nerf, and I think this card might still get played. I'm not 100% sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get played anymore. But like I said, there's not much to say about this nerf, but there is a lot going on with this next nerf, and that is for YOGG. I'm sure some of you are worried that what they will do to YOGG, and if that they completely ruined the card or made it unplayable, but all I think they did is just make it a little bit more fair, or at least make more sense. And what they did is pretty much if YOGG gets killed, silenced, transformed, or returned to your hand, its spell effects will just stop happening. As a person who sometimes uses YOGG, this seems like it makes sense and just looks like a logical nerf, but YOGG will piss a lot of people off now because I've been in situations where YOGG dies from the first few spells and even the first spell, and then that's it. You have this deck based around spells for this 10 mana card that could possibly do nothing or even hurt you. You see, the thing I liked about YOGG before is it could impact the player in a negative way. Like, sometimes it'll be biased for your opponent and screw you over. So again, I'm not too sure how I feel about this nerf. It seems like they did this nerf because y'all got too much competitive play, and I could totally see what they're saying. Sometimes when I play Hearthstone, I wish there was less RNG elements because, you know, this game is skill and RNG, and YOGG is just complete RNG. So they just don't want it to get competitive play, and I wish they added more cards that involved skill. But anyway, guys, we just gotta hope that YOGG doesn't kill himself or silence himself. And it wouldn't be too bad if he got knocked back into your hand, because at least you'd get a second try. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I try to get this video out as soon as I can so you know the newest nerfs. Actually, they did not happen as I'm making this video, but for the next patch that happens when you have to update your game, now you guys know all these nerfs. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. I'm the only Beast 13, and I'm out.